Thank you again, Love Bugs, for tuning in to the Get High on Motivation show. We have a special gentleman in the building. This guy, as a woman walked up and told him, he walks with purpose. I think he walks with purpose and on purpose, okay? I think everything that this gentleman does is on purpose. I don't think he does anything by just happenstance. All right. So this guy, his name is Quinton Blanche. We call him Q for short. So, Mr. Q, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Thank you so much for being
here.
Very
well.
So, can you give us a little spiel on who Q is?
Yeah. So Q is from Colorado. I'm a native, born and raised in Colorado.
What?
Yeah. So pretty crazy. My family's from Louisiana, so I have that Southern in me. But I grew up in Colorado Springs. So.
Okay.
But yes, a big gamer, athlete as well, entrepreneur now. Really big into music. I love that kind of art and all that stuff. So pretty outgoing guy, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'd agree.
So, yeah. I guess a little bit. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I have not known this young man very long, but in the short time that I have known him, he has been very impressive. He gave us a talk last week that was phenomenal, and I think it is something that everyone should hear or at least get a glimpse into. So, Q, you talked about self-talk.
Yes.
I'll just let me ask you first. Where did you learn about self-talk?
Through being an entrepreneur. Through starting a business 7 years ago. Graduated from high school 2007. I'm 29 now, 29 years young.
Yeah, all right.
And then I didn't go to college right away. It took about a year to work at a traditional job, work retail, and then got into college, and that's when I started looking more into business, and it was probably 7 years ago now and maybe 8 years, that I was starting to learn self-talk was important, my thoughts and what I say about myself, if I want to be more successful, who do I want to be? Because honestly, growing up, I was more like Q-Pac. And today I like to be more the Black Bond.
Oh,
yeah, that's my persona. So, but it took a lot of self-talk to, I guess, change that. And it's an identity thing, I guess I could say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. I remember you giving an exercise as far as talking to yourself in the mirror. Is this something that you do regularly?
Yes. More recently in the last 6 months or so. It's uncomfortable at first.
Yes.
Because it sounds really weird that you're going to be talking to yourself and look in the mirror. But I learned from a mentor that the eyes are the window of the soul.
Yes.
So if you look in your eyes, you hear your voice the most. And if you look into your eyes in the mirror, it's pretty powerful. So yes, I have been doing that. I've also been listening to a lot of recorded self-talk.
Yes.
And I'll be honest, for me, so I've had a moderate success. I mean, some people would say you're successful, but it's not to where I know my potential is. And I feel like in the last 6 months, maybe 3 months, my self-talk has had to improve for me to get to the next level.
Yes.
And it sounds crazy, but I think it's a lot of our programming in our mind and what we say to ourselves, especially in the mirror, I think has the most to do with what we're going to create in the future. So I had to really look at my self-talk recently so I could break through to that next level that I really am looking for. So the mirror trick is great. Yes, it is great.
So your conversation has changed with yourself?
Oh, completely. I'm telling everyone in the world about self-talk.
Yes.
It's important, but I think it's probably 99% almost. I mean, of course, it's some crazy number, but it's a lot. I think it's a lot, yeah.
No, I think it's very important. What I encourage people to do is the first thing when they wake up, go look in the mirror, and say good morning. And put your name like, good morning, Mimi the Motivator.
I like that.
I love you.
I like that.
Because
I like that.
I find, especially as a woman, that women tend to always be searching for love outside themselves.
For sure. It's this outer thing.
Right.
I understand. I can hear you.
Yes, but it has to start from within.
It does.
I think everything starts from within.
It does.
My last episode was creating within.
Okay.
And, when people hear the word create, they usually think artsy or something of that nature. But they don't understand that thoughts are creations.
Yeah, the beginning.
Right. That's where everything, down to these chairs we're sitting in, the microphone, these were someone's thoughts that somebody created within.
No doubt.
And what I can only imagine is that person had to have a good conversation with themselves.
Yep, it started somewhere.
Right. Like, I can do this.
Right,
this has never been
right.
done, and I've never seen this before. But I believe this can be done.
Yep, and it starts right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that self-talk in the morning is pretty powerful.
Start your whole day.
Yes. It will set the momentum.
Yep, you have to.
Yes.
Because if you stub your toe in the morning and say, oh, this sucks, you know, starting off this way, and it's a downhill spiral.
It is.
Yeah. And it becomes a habit. I think, like you said, loving yourself. I mean, even with men, it's the same thing. But I know with women, a lot of times you're looking for those outer relationships.
Right.
When if you start here, those relationships will come.
They will. That's exactly what will happen, because people will see how you're loving yourself, and
Yeah,
they'll want to get in on
exactly.
the fun.
There's no doubt about it.
It's like, it's a win-win.
It is a win-win, yes.
You know, I can't even imagine how people don't love themselves or don't like themselves.
Truth.
Now, granted,
Truth.
I probably had some days where I
Of
wasn't
course.
so sure about myself. Like,
I don't know. Yes, I think we all can.
That's when that self-talk comes in.
It does. It comes in handy. Yes. Hopefully
so
it
let me
answers.
ask you this.
Yes.
What do you tell yourself the most?
Oh, man. So I have a repeated self-talk on audio that talks about motivation, then another one that talks about action, another one about being present, so like the time at hand, and then I have what I'm making myself of what my goals are long term. I'm actually still writing it down, so I've said it to myself, and I mean, you know, I want to be a leader that other leaders are looking for. You know, I am a leader that other leaders are looking for. You know, I just learned the term hectomillionaire, which means 100 million. So it means 100 units, hecta. So a hectomillionaire is 100 million units. Yeah,
Wow.
I know. So I'll give Grant Cardone a plug. I learned it from Grant Cardone. He doesn't know me yet.
That's all right. He will know you soon, I'm sure.
In time, who knows? But yeah, so stuff like that, big goals. Professional gamer, because my big passion is playing video games professionally.
Yes.
So I add that in there. Having great relationships, the right person, the right woman to come along, the right friends, the right business acquaintances, whatever it may be. I mean, anything on just having excitement and enthusiasm. You know, I wake up in the morning, I say I believe in myself. You know, every day and every way I'm getting better and better. That's a simple one.
That's one of mine.
I got that from Tony Robbins. Reading all that stuff and personal development. But just start simple. Just start something simple. It doesn't have to be this huge paragraph on success right away, because it's overwhelming if you're just starting. Because if you'd said this stuff to me even the first day I heard self-talk, I wouldn't have made as much sense of it as I am today, and how it really works in the mind. But just stuff like, I'm successful, I learn from my mistakes, and I'm able to, talk to people firm and with kindness at the same time, anything that I need to work on.
Right.
Yeah, my communication, all this stuff. And so I feel if I say it every day, it's just going to take place, without thinking about it. Yeah, it's crazy how powerful it really is.
Yes. You're definitely preaching to the choir.
Okay.
I have a set of videos that I listen to every morning.
Good.
And I have a set of videos that I go to sleep listening to every night. I'm big on binaural beats.
It's so important, and I think that's the key, honestly, to a lot of the world's problems. Yeah.
Like the video I listen to every day that I've been listening to for some years now. Everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me.
Good mindset.
Yes, things are always going to work out for me.
Yes.
Then the lady goes on and says, since everything works out for me, what else do I want to work out for me? And it gets you thinking like,
this is gonna work out for me.
Yes.
That's a good one.
So no matter how ugly stuff can get in my face, I just hear the lady, I hear me.
Yeah. Hey,
everything always works out for me.
I like that one.
So it's funny. I have conversations or even arguments with people, and they getting all. I say, well, you know what? It doesn't matter, because everything always works out.
It's gonna work out for me. I like that.
So I don't care what works for them or what is going to work out for them. What I believe is everything always works out for everyone.
And it works out for you. Works out for me.
Yes.
I think that's good.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a good mentor recently. He was talking about most times when people are upset about something and something bad happens, they always say, "Oh, of course,"
Of course.
"Oh, of course this happens." So he's like, just switch it. When something great happens, say, "Of course." So it's like if something good happens, just say, "Of course." course.
Yes.
Of course this happens to me all the time.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
this is good stuff. And I love that because it keeps you positive.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. This stuff's great. If people use this is great. It'll help them with their attitude for sure.
It will. And I think the reason that this self-talk or subconscious programming is so important because you've been programmed for 29 years.
Wow. Oh, wow.
With a program that you did not choose.
Exactly.
All kind of programming.
Environment, all that stuff.
We get programmed by our parents, by our friends, by the church, by the school, jobs, different organizations we've been in. You know, just
it's
the
crazy.
television.
Yeah, it's
or
media.
In this day and age, it's
media.
the phone.
Yep, it's your phone.
You know,
Facebook,
what's going on
social
on Facebook.
media. Yeah.
Yes, because on Facebook, people are putting all their dirty life.
Anything.
They're letting you know how bad things are. I don't know if they put when things are good or not.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you
It's just
will see
the
when
bad.
things are bad.
Yep, you see the negative.
So I tend to steer away from Facebook. I live on Instagram.
I understand.
Because
I understand.
Instagram, they say your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yeah, it's so true, and you choose who you follow, and it's
So
good
it
stuff.
works.
No, I agree.
Well, speaking of Instagram, how do we find you on Instagram?
So you can find me under Q Blanche, the letter Q, Blanche. Like Blanche from the Golden Girls.
Well, you know that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Yes.
You know, I'm thinking, where did he get this last name
Yeah,
from?
crazy, my family ancestry and how that all happens.
But New Orleans. So
yeah,
that.
Louisiana.
Yes.
Yeah, so find me right on Instagram there.
So you are on Facebook as well?
Yes, and that's under Quinton Blanche. So Quinton
Yes.
Blanche.
All right, so you make sure you go hit the like button, go follow him, friend him, all that good stuff. Because he is supporting you with his message, so you should support him back.
Appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you. Yes.
So one thing that I forgot to mention before we got started is the latter portion of my show is called Message to a Message. And that's where either you as a guest can share an experience of something maybe you're trying to make a decision on or something that you've been battling. You can share it with me and we'll talk about it. And that way it offers me an opportunity to learn and grow and so for our listeners. So it can be a personal something of yours. It can be someone that you know that's dealing with something and you wish you knew the right words to tell them.
Wow, that's a great question.
You know. So if you don't have something, that is okay because I have folks who send stuff in, but I did want to offer you the opportunity first. So do you have something for us that we could tackle?
Yeah, so it's I guess it's what I go through emotionally as well as what my father actually goes through and how you're so much like your father, you know?
Yes.
Wow, so I get a little emotional thinking about it. But it's not so much my own mess, but it just makes me put my life in a certain order. About I don't know how long, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago, my dad ended up having a massive heart attack out of nowhere. And I mean, he's not the kind of guy you think that would happen to. And he almost didn't live from that. He ended up having a heart transplant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's successful.
Good.
And he's back in, work. He's going to retire in 18 months from what he does for his career.
Awesome.
But after something like that, it's so it's kind of like, I'm an entrepreneur. There's good days, there's bad days.
Yes.
Like you said, there's days where you're, self-talk, you're great. And there's days you're like, I don't want to say nothing to myself. I don't want to say nothing to nobody. I don't want to take this phone call. I don't want to take, that just is normal. But being able to see his progress.
Yes.
And how much, because you would have never thought he had a heart transplant. He's pretty good size again, even. He's back at work and all stuff. He's a pro bowler.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah. So I see the high life with him when he's doing well. But then there's times where he has a hard moment. And it's tough for me to see. And I just think of my life. I think of being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
All the time. It drives me a lot because I know there's great days. How do I prepare myself for those bad ones?
Okay.
That
is a wonderful question.
It is.
Well, first of all, you're already on the right track with the self-talk thing. Because, like how I told you earlier, if something does get scary or ugly in my world, there's this message that is now ingrained into my subconscious mind that everything is going to work out.
It's going to work out.
So,
of course,
that's what it is. It's going to be in with you recording this self-talk audios that you're doing.
Yes.
Mention something in there that reminds you that everything is happening for a reason. That everything is happening for your greatest good. and for the greatest good of the world around us.
Right. It's all for a good reason.
Yes,
it's all for the right reason.
Things have to happen, in order for a bigger something to take place. So sometimes it's going to be a hurt.
Yep.
It can be a loss.
Pain. It could be
pain. Yes.
Pain. It could be pain.
Right. Personally, I did lose my mother. My mother wasn't sick, though. So which made it a little harder. I think I don't know, but personally, I think it's easier to prepare for a loss if you know what's going to happen.
Right, because you're that's expectation.
Yes.
But out of nowhere, how did it make you feel?
Oh, my gosh. My mother was on her way home from karaoke, okay?
Oh, my gosh.
My mother was a young, vibrant character, okay? When my mother passed away, she had on this denim skirt that was denim halfway and the rest of it was leopard print. She had boots that came up to her knees.
Gosh.
Just to give you an idea of her personality. But she died of her hypothermia.
Oh my gosh.
So I got a call about 6:30 in the morning that told me that my mother had been in an accident. I think I was pulling up to my church about 8:15 because it was a little too much. I was like, let me just go to mass and go pray. As I'm pulling up, I get a phone call from one of my grandparents, and she's asking to speak to my grandmother that I'm riding with. I was like, well, she's on the phone with my father now because I couldn't tell my dad about what was going on without being emotional. So she was telling my father what was going on because they're really good friends, even though they weren't together. They're very good, close friends. I get this call, and I'm like, well, Grammy's on the phone with my dad. She was like, well, do you know your mother's dead?
She said it like that?
Whoa, yeah. I just sat the phone down, got out of the car,
and
walked into church and passed out. But, one, I was prepared for this because of a Bible study that I went to just 2 days prior. I told people, oh, nobody dies before their time. We all die right on time.
Right on time.
We die when our mission is complete or whenever God has called us home.
Right.
So there is
whenever
no such
it is,
thing
it's
as
the
an
time.
early death.
It's the time.
And then that happened 2 days later.
Oh my God.
So mentally, I was kind of prepared. My mother's younger brother had been murdered 5 years prior in the same month, and he was my best friend.
Oh my gosh.
So now that took a toll on me where I couldn't do much of anything for a long time.
And dealing with death.
Right. But that mourning process...
You realize a lot.
Was good, yeah. So when my mother passed away, I was business as usual, taking care of things or whatever.
But still dealing with it in grief. Yes, but able to respond.
Because I'm the rock in my family, and I had to do that.
Be.
It wasn't an opportunity for me to be weak and be crying and boo-hooing. I didn't have that chance.
Not at all.
Until I got on my mother's snowmobile because she passed away in Minnesota.
Oh, man.
Got on her snowmobile, went out in the middle of the lake, and I did all my crying out there, and then came back in. But it's a preparation. It was a mental preparation that made it where it was okay. So...
But it was for a reason.
Yes, but as long as you are programming your mind that... things happen. Shift happens. Yeah,
shift happens. That's a good way to put it.
Shift happens. So things happen, and these things do not happen to us to take us out.
No.
They happen to us to build us up. They're character building experiences.
Completely.
So every time that you even find yourself falling into that thought pattern, even when Dad's having a bad day, self-talk.
Yep. Back in full gear.
Share some of that self-talk with Dad. We're good.
This is always going to work out.
Right. This is going to work out. You're going through this, Dad, so that way I'll never have to go through this. And then my son and his
learning
son.
And learning. Changing the DNA.
Right.
And it's tough sometimes.
It is.
But it is character building. Oh, more than.
What I believe about generational curses is that they stop when somebody's willing to feel the pain.
And there's been some pain. And creates growth, though.
I can see you being the one in your family that'll be okay. Be like, okay, bring the pain on. Like it's a video game. I'm going to trump this. I got this. Next level.
Next level up. I agree.
Speaking of gaming, I do have to ask you about that real quick before we run out of time.
Yes.
How did you get into professional gaming? How do you do that? How did that happen?
So I gotta. I'm building to the pro level. I'm doing competitions, and I'm gonna start streaming, and people will get all that from Instagram and Facebook when I do all that. But no, funny story. So I'm a big gamer because I've been playing them for years now, since I was like maybe 1 or 1.5, 2. Yeah, so it's actually my folks' fault, my parents' fault. So I was just I guess excited kid. I'd run around, the house and be all excited, and I would never learn how to use, potty train. So they bought me a Nintendo. And I would sit on the potty trainer and play Nintendo all day long, and that's how I learned how to. It was fate.
Yes. Well, hey,
yeah, so it's huge. It's huge now. Who knows? I play a lot. So now it's like big games. There's like Fortnite. There's fighting games. There's Street Fighter, Dragon Ball Fighters. There's Call of Duty. But I play them all at a very competitive level. So done tournaments at colleges and stuff like that. Won some local stuff. But yeah, right. So I do my business so I could be travel and help other people be successful. Yes. And then I do games because that's what I love to do. And I do other stuff too, but gaming's a big part of it.
Well, that's good. Hey, do what you love and the money is love.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us today.
Yes, of course.
This was awesome.
Yeah.
Go find Mr. Quinton Blanche on Facebook. He spelled the name, and if you didn't get the spelling, and that means press rewind. He is Q Blanche, Blanche with an E on Instagram, and I am Entrepreneur Barbie on Instagram. Check me out, Mimi the Motivator on Facebook, or go to mimithemotivator.com where you can listen to this podcast. It's on iTunes, it's on Stitcher, it's on Google Play, I heard.
Yes.
And it's on SoundCloud, and if not, you head over to mimithemotivator.com. Bam. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Q.
You're very welcome.
Any last words for our audience?
Better self-talk. Improve your self-talk. Look in the mirror this morning and say you're going to be successful and just make it happen.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, so this is Mimi the Motivator signing out of the Get High on Motivation show. Be happy, be healthy, but most importantly, be you. Awesome. How was that? Was that good for you? Okay, good. Hope that's what you're looking for. We have another gamer in Toastmasters.
Oh, yeah.
Her name is, what's this girl's name? I just left her. Brienne Smith. She is a member of the Downtown Toastmasters group. But she is a big gamer. I think she competes.
Oh, really?
All that kind of stuff. She plays all the games.
Yeah.
She just told us today about this game. She just recently started playing something about Detroit, where the zombies are taking over Detroit.
Oh, wow.
And she's an android, and she's got to lead a revolution to take over the human.
I think Detroit become human, I think.
Yeah,
she's a big gamer.
Yeah, she's a really big gamer, so you might want to
connect with her.
Yeah,
I need to check out the